Hey everybody, how's it going? Josh here, and today we're going to talk about how Red Hood could appear in the Birds of Prey movie. So the Birds of Prey movie is going to feature Harley Quinn, Black Canary, Renee Montoya, and Cassandra Cain. The villains of this movie are Black Mask and Zsasz, which are characters not super popular in a lot of mainstream Batman, but they're both characters that have appeared in some capacity in the Arkham games. Presumably, a lot of people probably know Black Mask from the Arkham Origins game, and Zsasz is probably more of a character that they just walked past in the halls of Arkham. But they're both really interesting characters in their own way, and I think that them in this movie could work really well, especially Black Mask, since the movie will probably deal a lot with Black Mask and his criminal operations. And a majority of characters in this movie, from Harley Quinn, the Black Canary, Cassandra Cain, Renee Montoya, Black Mask, a lot of them have connections to Batman. And another character that has connections to Batman and also Black Mask and Harley Quinn is Red Hood, aka Jason Todd, aka the Dead Robin. And that's because Jason Todd in this DCEU, the Ben Affleck Batman universe, he's been dead for a while. And I think that's actually something that's really important to note, that Jason Todd's been dead for years at this point. So there's a lot of time that you can implement. He's been brought back to life, he's been retrained by the League of Assassins or whoever, and began his career not as a Dead Robin anymore, but at this point as Red Hood, and kind of worked his way back to Gotham to exact his revenge. And another reason I think this would be a good time for that as well is because, along with the connections to Batman and stuff like that, in the comics, when Black Mask was becoming more of a prominent figure in the criminal underworld, that's when Red Hood showed up. And they kind of showed that in a certain example, a certain interpretation, if you will, in the Batman Under the Red Hood movie, which was fantastic. But also at the same time, with a lot of these movies, since they're trying to make them their own franchises now, they're going to want to have Easter eggs. They're going to want to set up for that next sequel, that next movie, that next trilogy of sorts. And a really interesting way they could do it is by having, at the end of this movie, since I'm pretty sure they don't want Red Hood to overshadow the other characters such as Harley Quinn or Black Canary, it'd be really interesting if we learn that, let's say they take out Black Mask, but there's a new person involved in the whole crime underworld. There's a new player. Or let's say they decide to not kill Black Mask, but someone else does once he's captured. What better character would fit that kind of void than Red Hood, considering the history Red Hood has with both Black Mask and Harley Quinn? And a lot of people might be asking themselves, why Harley Quinn? Why that history? And the reason why is because in an original planned deleted scene, something along the lines of that, in Batman v Superman, they were going to show Batman basically beating the shit out of the Joker, and I guess in some ways attacking Harley Quinn as well, upon finding out what they did to Jason Todd. And I guess that was going to build off the scene that we saw of him looking at Jason Todd's Robin costume that was vandalized by the Joker. But because of Harley Quinn's association with that event, I'm sure if the Joker can't be found, maybe Jason Todd's going to target Harley Quinn to find the Joker, or he's just going to take out his rage at Harley Quinn, because Jason Todd isn't normally portrayed as the smartest guy in the room as much as he's presented as the most angry guy in the room in a lot of DC comics and DC media. Now, the only thing that I would say would make me really against this kind of implementation of Red Hood in a Birds of Prey movie franchise would be the fact that there's probably going to be no Batman. And I definitely think that I would love to see a live action version of Under the Red Hood, but at the same time I need to kind of accept the fact, and I think a lot of people need to accept the fact, that DC's going to start taking some more creative liberties as they can as they move forward, especially as they kind of phase out certain characters such as Ben Affleck's Batman or Henry Cavill's Superman, depending on if they recast them, re-sign them to more movies, whatever they're going to do. I mean, with Superman, you might be able to pseudo replace him with Shazam as a franchise, but with Batman, it's really hard to replace Batman, especially when you've already set up so much with Ben Affleck's Batman. So they may just go a Venom route, so to speak, where just like Venom was done without really associating Spider-Man, they might do a character like Red Hood without really associating him with Batman. Like, we know the history he has with Batman, and they could reference the fact that he was Robin, he was killed, and all that stuff, but at the same time, they can further distance him from Batman by not making him required to reappear in a Batman movie, which may actually be refreshing to some fans, especially considering Red Hood is such a popular character, just like Venom and a character like Deadpool is. They may be beyond having to be introduced through that quote-unquote root character's movie, whether it be Spider-Man or Batman, respectively. And at the same time, Red Hood does have history with the League of Assassins, just like Cassandra Cain, so you could also play with that as well. So maybe the League of Assassins is going after Cassandra Cain, since she's in this movie, and they're sending Red Hood as kind of their operative. So you could have a very interesting dynamic here, where Red Hood is a brainwashed soldier, brainwashed assassin of the League of Assassins, going back to Gotham, and going back to Gotham triggers some memories, and from there he kind of goes rogue and becomes the Red Hood we all know and love from the comics and other media. So there's a lot you can play with here, just because there's a lot of characters in this movie with connections to Red Hood. But comment below your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about this? Let us know down below, and we'll see you guys later.